Hey everybody, if you're a restaurant or hotel business, you know how crucial it is to manage costs without sacrificing quality. That's where FoodBuy, the largest GPO in the industry, comes in. With FoodBuy, you gain access to exclusive pricing, unmatched buying power, and a vast network of trusted suppliers, all designed to help you save time and money. Whether you're running a high-end hotel or a bustling restaurant, FoodBuy is your one-stop partner to streamline purchasing and get the best deals. Want to see how they're changing the game? Visit foodbuy.com today and take your supply chain to the next level. That's foodbuy.com, making smarter purchasing easier than ever.
I gotta tell you, live from Pepsi Studios in New York City, it's the Hospitality Hangout Podcast with the restaurant guy and the finance guy. Everything's better with Pepsi. Check it out at PepsiCo.com. Jimbo, I gotta tell you, man, with that new Pepsi machine in the office, I am super excited because not only do I get all of my favorite, Jimmy, who drinks more New Leaf unsweetened iced tea than me?
Nobody.
And what else do we have? And what else do we have loaded in that machine?
Starry.
That's right. We got Star. And what else did I get for you?
Cocktail of the Frischling family, Starry and Don Julio. It's a fantastic. It's my own personal ranch water.
By the way, you take Starry, you mix it with a little tequila, little Casamigos and Starry, and you got yourself a absolutely great summer drink. I got to tell you, Jimbo, let's kick it off, man, because we had a great show.
Yes, I want to more formally welcome everyone to the Hospitality Hangout, a hospitality-focused podcast where the founders, that's Shats and me, get to share their insights and bring technology and innovation leaders that are making things happen in the industry you love. My name is Jimmy Frischling, otherwise known as the Branded Finance Guy, and I'd like to introduce my partner, Mr. Michael Schatzberg, also known as the Restaurant Guy.
And thank you for that kind, fabulous introduction, Jimbo. And to all those listening, feel free to call me Shatsy. And we are the voices, the sounds, the sights behind Branded Hospitality Ventures.
Or something.
Jimmy, we are at the intersection of hospitality, technology, capital, and all things in the food, beverage, and restaurant space. Jimmy, we are in the middle of it all.
So very focused. We're very, very focused.
We are incredibly, incredibly focused. And I got to tell you, we have an incredible lineup today.
We do.
I still say, I don't know what we're paying for these guests. I don't know what we're paying to have them on, but it must be astronomical.
I think we doubled the pay of this guest from last week's guest. Doubled it.
Is that what we did?
You can even triple it if you want. You can even triple it, Chats. I'll let you figure out the math on that.
We are super excited today because today, we've got Noah Glass, Mr. Noah Glass.
One of the OGs.
CEO and founder of Olo. Jimbo, this guy's been slugging it out in this hospitality technology space for like 25, 30 years, maybe even longer.
One of our industry.
40 years.
One of our champions, one of the most innovative and kind of, he's like the Wayne Gretzky of the industry. He anticipated where the puck was going. And there you have Olo.
I got to tell you something. If I'm not mistaken, I was watching a little bit, like a lot of people. I was watching a little bit of the Olympics. Were you watching the Olympics?
I watched a lot of Olympics.
There was a lot of Olympics, right?
Yes, a lot of Olympics.
I am so bold to say that I think that Mr. Noah Glass is our gold medalist.
Our gold medalist?
He is in the hospitality tech business. He is the gold medalist.
Steph Curry?
Yes. Or Simone. Yes. That's who we have on. That's who we have on.
So we gave him Gretzky, we gave him Curry, we gave him Simone Biles.
We gave him a lot.
But let's give him a lot. All right, listen, but we're actually talking about Noah like he's not here. So
he is.
So let's get Noah going into this episode.
We got to start with that.
But before we do, we kick off. We release our podcast on Tuesdays. We like to call it Trivia Tuesday. Here's how we play the game. I'm going to give you all 3 factoids about our friend Noah. 2 of them are true. One is less true, which we also call a lie.
Right.
Shatsy later in the episode will take his best guess. He's been doing incredibly well. But Shatsy, I read the 3 factoids about Noah, and I have to say, I think you're going to be challenged today. This is going to be really interesting. So here we go.
I feel like I know Noah, so I feel like I'll know if he's lying or not.
All right, well, here we go. Here are the 3 factoids about our friend Noah. Fact 1, Noah bicycled cross-country from Connecticut to California. Fact 2, Noah performed solo a cappella at the White House singing to former First Lady Laura Bush. And fact 3, Noah grew up with 3 dogs, Ollie, Lavender, and Opal. And their initials are actually how Noah named the company Olo.
Is that right?
Well, I can't tell you if it's right because that's really the game. That is the game.
I always thought Olo was online ordering. Olo, online ordering.
Well,
no?
then maybe.
Am I wrong?
Then maybe.
Could it be online ordering and his dogs happen to be named?
Could it be Ollie, Lavender, and Opal? That's the game, Shatsy. So remember, stick around. Stick around to the end of the episode. We have 3 factoids. Shatsy will guess, and he'll go to the penalty box and feel shame if he doesn't get it right.
Well, I got to tell you something. That's I don't know. This is really, now it's tricky.
Yeah, by the way, isn't online one word? You're going to say it's 2 words.
Online ordering. That's what I always thought.
Put that in Microsoft Word.
Well, we don't even have to. At some point today,
yes,
we're going to know the answer.
We're going to know the answer. Yes, in minutes, I tell you.
Well, listen, before we jump into, I know Noah's dying to get into this whole thing here, but I got to I like to talk a little bit about our guest.
Yes.
Before we hear from our guest.
Is it your Fraser Crane moment?
Yeah, I like to find out a little bit about how did our guest become. How do you start a technology company that becomes like the biggest technology company in the hospitality space? You know what I mean? In our world.
Making all things off-premise work.
Exactly. You know, how do they do? So I'm going to throw out a couple little tidbits, okay? Little fun facts about Mr. Noah Glass. Are you ready, Jimbo?
I'm ready.
Noah's first job was a cashier at a service station. That's a gas station to you and me, Jimbo.
That's a gas station,
That's a gas station. That was his first job, okay?
There you go.
I'm not in Connecticut, by the way. In Connecticut.
Don't forget that Connecticut to California cross-country biking.
Yep, exactly.
There you go.
He was a pizza delivery guy up there in Newton, Massachusetts. I think he's originally from Newton, and then he went down to Connecticut to do that bike ride.
I think he went to do more than that in Connecticut. Check this one out.
Yeah, but he attended Yale.
Boom.
He attended Yale. He graduated with a BE in political science in 2003. So that gives you a little idea of age now.
I heard you say BE. It's BA, but I'm not sure if you said...
But I said BE?
I heard you say BE, and I have no idea what degree that is. I want to make sure we give Noah credit for his BA.
No, but sometimes he gets even better things than other people get, you know?
Sometimes.
He played lacrosse.
Yes.
At Yale.
At Yale.
At Yale. Let me tell you something. That's like, I don't know. That's like,
D1.
Yeah, that's D1,
yes.
I mean, granted, it's only, it's Ivy League, but it's still, yeah, it's far better than anything I could ever do.
Your sports career ended in JV soccer in high school.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that good at that, Jimbo. Let me tell you, if you saw me play soccer, it wasn't that good. You know what? And he became chief line skipper at GoMobo.com. No idea what that is, but we're going to find out. No idea, but it's impressive. It's a .com, and it's big, because anybody that's got a .com and you're a chief, that's big, right?
And then?
Then he founded Olo,
Boom.
Named after his dogs.
Maybe.
Ollie, Lavender, and some other dog.
Opal.
And Opal? Yeah, well, something else. Anyway, listen, I got to tell you, Jimbo, without further ado, let's bring in
the chairman of the board,
the CEO, the founder himself, Mr. Noah Glass. Look at this guy, Jimbo. I got to tell you, this guy's got he's got a face for television.
Yes, he does.
You know what you and I have a face for?
Radio.
Damn right. That's why we stay on this podcast. Let's kick it off, man. Noah, how much did I get right?
Well, pretty good, except the service station was in Connecticut. It wasn't in Massachusetts, but everything else.
All right. What was it? Like, was it Shell? What was it? You could say on this podcast, you can tell us what brand. Texaco?
We changed from Texaco to, I want to say, Lukoil. Not during my time there.
Yeah, it's that whole Russian interference or something like that.
yeah, something like that. But it was Regan Service Station in Auburndale, Massachusetts. That's in Newton, one of the villages of Newton.
So you grew up in Massachusetts, go to Yale, played lacrosse, something at GoMobo, and then founded Olo. I love it. Jimbo?
Now, Noah, thank you so much. We know you truly, I think Shats and I, we work, we hustle, we grind. You guys continue to do incredible things at Olo, and we appreciate you taking some time out of your day to be with us. It's my lucky day because usually Shatsy gets all the breaking news, but our producer Julie gave it to me today. So I love that I get to kick off the formal part of this podcast with some breaking news. Olo now offers card-present payment processing through Olo Pay. So, and again, a little shout out to the branded family. You've also partnered with not only several industry hitters, but also some partners of branded, the folks at Bike Kiosk, the folks at Audion, to bring processing to life. What can you share with us about your offers, about the card present payment processing through Olo Pay?
I love it.
Yeah, well, first, huge thanks for having me on. Really, it's an honor to be on with you all. And I've had so much fun already. I can't wait for the rest of the conversation. So on this breaking news.
He's a liar. Like, it's the most fun I've had. Come on.
Hey, I studied political science, Shatsy. I learned some things, politics.
He knows politics.
Diplomacy. Too.
Diplomacy.
I'm right.
So Olo Pay is making the leap from just being a card not present payment solution, meaning when somebody is paying for a transaction they're placing through digital, into being a card present payment solution as well. And this is important because if you look at the data from Circana Group, it's about 18% of industry transactions that are digital. The other 82% are happening inside the four walls of the restaurant. So if it's drive-through, if it's a counter-based transaction, if it's a server-based transaction, that's happening with a card present. And we're now able to address those transactions as well. So the journey with Olo Pay began about 2 years ago. About a year ago, we introduced the ability to do card present through Adyen, that partnership with kiosks. And as you mentioned, Bite Kiosk, heavy hitters in the industry. I like that. Was our first kiosk partner. So the first
Brandon Barton, by the way. I mean, I know that guy since his days at Resi. That guy also, he knows the business.
He's an OG.
Man. Yeah,
he's an
OG.
One of our OGs.
Yeah.
Love Brandon. But yeah, so Olo Pay Card Present started out as a kiosk solution where you could pay with your card on the Bite kiosk. Now we have 3 different kiosk partners who've all been enabled on Olo Pay Card Present kiosk. And we've now announced 3 partnerships with POS companies. So the first that we announced was back in March. That was QPOS, really a rising star in the POS world,
Definitely.
Cloud-based enterprise.
Yeah, love
focus
those
on
guys.
QSR. Then we announced NCR. NCR, the largest partner of ours in the POS space. To
Another
put it in
OG.
perspective, we've got 36 different enterprise POS partners where we can send orders into the POS. These were the first 2 that were Olo Pay enabled point of sale partners. And then we announced more recently a partnership with Tray, which is another up and comer in the POS space, focused really on full service restaurants. And in their case, what's really interesting about Tray is they can run on any hardware.
Yeah.
So you don't have to rip and replace existing hardware. You can run the Tray software.
I think like IHOP. I think IHOP switched to them, right?
Applebee's.
That's
right.
IHOP or Denny's? IHOP.
IHOP.
I think it was a
IHOP is right.
pancake guy. Somebody doing
IHOP is
breakfast.
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was like 2,000 stores switched over to Tray. That was big stuff. I think Noah actually helped facilitate that. That's breaking news.
It's breaking news.
I just made that up.
But maybe he
So,
did.
I don't know.
What's exciting about this, from our perspective, is the ability to take those 80+% of transactions that are happening in the restaurant and pull those into what we call the guest data platform. So what that means is I can now see, even if you're paying in restaurant, I can see that transaction was placed by you, Shatsy, and I can connect that back to your account. Not only can I see what you spent, I can see item level detail, ingredient level detail. I can know as much about that transaction as I would know about a digital transaction. And for our purposes of really helping restaurants better understand their guests so they can better personalize the experience, and as we say, make every guest feel like a regular, understanding those 80% of transactions, being able to tie all of them back to a guest profile is a total game changer. And I've heard restaurant CMOs say this moment of being able to offer a solution that can take payments digitally and in an analog manner, off-premise and on-premise, card not present and card present, that's sort of the holy grail we've been waiting for so long, to be able to see every transaction tied back to a guest. From the guest perspective, every transaction that an individual guest has ever placed, whether they did that online or inside of the restaurant.
And is that no matter what restaurant, any restaurant on the Olo platform, you'll know like about me and where I ate and what I did?
If it's a restaurant that is using one of those point of sale systems that we've integrated into and is using Olo Pay as their card present processor.
Well, why would anybody not want to use Olo Pay? It sounds like a no-brainer. I mean, you talk about data and is it data or data?
You say data and no, and I say data.
What, so I say wrong?
Well,
no, what do you say, data or data?
No, how do you say it?
I don't know. On Mondays, I say data. So let's go with that.
Is that the one I said? What did I say?
I was going to say smart people say data. You say data.
Idiots say data?
I didn't say that.
All right, well, listen. So you talk about data.
Data.
You talk about data, right? And there's so much data out there, and restaurant operators have known we have so much data, but we don't know what to do with the data. Now you're telling me that you, Noah Glass, CEO and founder of Olo, have figured out how to take the data and put it in a way that restaurant operators can now go back and understand their guests and market to them. So just tell me, share about more that you're providing the customers, that's the restaurant operators, with the data they need, that now they can become more efficient and help drive traffic to the restaurant to increase sales. Tell me how that works, because my head's about to explode.
That's basically it. I mean, the idea is that if you know somebody, if you're able to see every transaction they've placed, if you're able to see that I eat only vegan items on a menu.
Is that true?
You probably don't want to.
Do you only eat vegan?
Wasn't one of, yeah, that's right. It was not one of my trivia questions.
Not one of the trivia questions, Jesse. That's a bonus.
A bonus fact about me.
Yes.
But if you were to send me something about the new steak special, that's going to land flat for me. But if you send me a message and it tells me about something new on the menu and something that is plant-based, that's going to be exciting to me, especially if it incorporates ingredients that you've seen me order elsewhere. So the ability to sort of communicate with me in a way that's personalized, and even better than that, when I'm in the commerce experience, when I'm placing the online order, to show me a version of the menu or to make recommendations to me that are based on what I've ordered in the past and what other guests like me have ordered that I've never tried but have a really high probability of liking, that's the game changer.
That's
the
game changer.
Instead of a one size fits all, getting to a one size fits one version of the restaurant business.
Let me ask you something about this. How long have you been vegan?
I've been vegan since 2010. And
how much do you weigh? What do you weigh?
Just how good does he look? Look at that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Clearly, there's something about being vegan.
Yeah, because he's
looks
glowing.
a lot healthier than we
glowing.
do.
Are you using some sort of moisturizers that I should be looking at? Is that all just vegan?
Vegan moisturizers.
I got to tell you, Jimbo, between this Olo Pay and this vegan, we're doing everything wrong.
You know, I'll just add, because this weekend's in the newsletter, we talked. My theme was feast or famine.
Yeah.
So you have an increase in restaurant closures, particularly within the first 2 years, and yet we have an industry that's hitting record sales. And so, how do you explain this kind of this feast or famine? And to this topic, operators that are leveraging the data, leveraging an Olo Pay, leveraging that taking a guest and making them feel as though this has been a personalized experience. That is how restaurants, I think, more than anything, are driving butts and seats.
Without a doubt.
And the idea of just generic marketing, to me, I don't want to say it's lazy, because I know no restaurant operators are lazy.
It may be the best they can do, right?
But I think that these are the types of tools that really operators, if they want to win, they're going to have to embrace it, because that's what the guests expect. And I think it's awesome that you're doing it. You mentioned some good friends of ours, not just brands, but the folks at Q we think have come on incredibly strong. NCR is one of our longstanding friends. I mean, we've been super impressed with what Trey has done in breaking onto the scene into a very competitive landscape and winning some really good business. And I'm thrilled to hear that they're recognizing that partnering with you and integrating with you is really important. Shatsy and you were talking about kind of the strides that we're making in the technology side and the implementation. And you, again, I mean, it sounds like we're joking around, but there's truth and humor. I mean, Noah and Olo really were one of the first on the scenes to understand the criticality of these integrations and how to help on the off-premise and now beyond space. But we're still, I like to say, in the early innings, but people are tired of hearing me talk about it. You just gave a factoid that we're still in on-premise. 80% of transactions are not digital. So by definition, for all this digital transformation that we're talking about, the super vast majority of the industry is still doing things, we'll call it somewhat the old ways.
The old-fashioned way, Jimmy.
So to me, that leaves, we're a 1.2 sales industry projected by our friends at the NRA for 2024. Plenty of room.
Wait, 1.2 what?
Trillion, I should say. Trillion.
You just said 1.2. I know it on 1.2 what?
It's a great point. I'm glad you called me out. But
1.2 trillion, Jimmy. You got to put the thing over there. You got to put like a little pinky finger.
No, where do you think we are in kind of in this journey? You're seeing tech grow. You're seeing it scale. You're in the weeds with some of the largest and most important brands in our industry. Where do you think, where are we in the tech industry and scaling, growing, and kind of along the maturation curve?
I truly think if we're talking in baseball analogies, we are just getting out of the dugout. It is so early in how this industry, which is a massive $1.2 trillion and growing industry, is embracing the digital transformation. And I think the really exciting thing, being at this for now 19 years, is to see that all of the data that we've collected, data, that's what I'm using today. All of the data that we've collected over that time, that is every single order that's ever happened. And we've done billions of orders on the Olo platform, 2.5 billion orders since our IPO 3 years ago. every one of those is a packet of clues. Every one of those is tied back to a guest and tells us what items they like, what ingredients they like, how they like to pay, to be able to harness that data to derive insights from it through the use of things like machine learning and AI. Like, we're all living through this amazing time where we're not just swimming in data. We now have very advanced technologies that can take the data, harvest insights from it, and then enable us to take action through those insights and effectively drive profitable traffic. And Jimmy, you're right. I mean, what restaurants that are doing that are winning is they're focusing on driving traffic and doing it in a profitable way. It's easy to bomb price and to just say, oh, we're going to do meal deals or value menus or coupons. And, the franchisees are going to feel the pain of that.
Take it on the chin,
franchisor. Well, the franchisor is making their royalty off the top line. They're okay for some time. But to really think about what you can do with data to drive profitable traffic and not resort to meal deals and discounting and value and eroding the bottom line, that's what the winners are doing. And that's what the winners are going to do going forward.
I got to tell you, I love it, but I just want to
podcast gold right there.
It is, but I just want to say, I mean, we're talking about baseball analogies, and I just thought that it was a great opportunity because Noah said we just got out of the dugout. And I thought it was a really good opportunity. Jimmy, can you share your bet? We talk about Noah playing lacrosse at D1. You were playing like D something baseball.
I was at Wesleyan University.
No, but it was up in his neck of the woods.
I was only a few miles, 20 some odd, 30 miles.
You could have went to Yale.
I could if they accepted me.
Right, but I'm just saying you could have went. They didn't accept you, but you could have went.
I feel like Darius Rucker. I had big plans until I got that rejection letter in the mail. No, but so Noah, Shadzy's baiting me into sharing my own baseball story, which is I came out of high school thinking I knew a thing or two and had a game. Went on to Wesleyan University, and I was ready to play some ball at Wesleyan. And 2 years in a row, I got cut from the varsity and designated or relegated to junior varsity. And the second time I got cut, I said to the coach, I think he and I have a disagreement about my role on the team. And he says, yeah, we have a disagreement. You think you're pretty good, and I don't. And I said, I think I'm done playing baseball at Wesleyan. So Shadsy likes to remind me.
I like that story. It's a funny story.
And the coach, yes, may he rest in peace. Until the very end, he and I were friends. He still reminded me of how I thought I came to school as a player. He said, not much.
Yeah. Well, let's change gears a little bit. I thought it was a good story, because you could have played D1.
I would have played less. I would have played even less.
Well, whatever. You still, as far as Jimmy, you're D1 with me.
Thank you.
Okay,
I appreciate
Listen,
that.
you know what? Look, Jimmy and I travel around. I go to a lot of the trade shows, the conferences. I meet a lot of young tech companies as venture investors. We invest in a lot of early stage companies. Meet a lot of really great founders. I mean, you are a perfect example of a company. I wish we would have invested in. Damn it! We missed that one. Damn it! But no, all seriously, I mean, you were a startup. I don't know, it was like 16, 17, 18 years ago, something like
19
that.
19
years ago. I mean, and you went from a startup, you went through the journey of private, and you went public. You took your company public, which is really a dream of almost every founder that we speak to. I mean, many of them, that's their dream, right, is to go public. I mean, you today, Olo works with over 700 brands. Jimmy, the best brands in the business. Olo works with all the best brands. 81,000 locations.
Got a few units on that platform.
They do. It's unbelievable what they do. And Noah, from your experience of almost 20 years ago, what's changed or what stayed the same for Olo, or what do you see as you guys continue to grow?
Yeah, I'm proud to say that we are now up to 82,000 locations.
Wait a minute, just coming in, 82,400. Yep. It just came through. It just added. Just as we spoke, someone listening just signed up.
The ticker.
That's how impressive this podcast is.
That's the power of the Hospitality Hangout podcast.
Just got an account.
Just converting. So what's changed? I think that there was initially this general skepticism about technology in the hospitality business, that you had folks that just felt like this technology, this is almost by definition going to come in between me and the guest, going to come off as cold. I don't like that. And this has a place in other industries. Sure, I'm a consumer. I use it in other places. I don't want it in my industry. That has changed a lot over time. But there are still people who are holding on to that original kind of perspective that too much technology inherently means I'm going to erode hospitality.
I heard that a lot lately, by the way.
Yeah, we have a different perspective. Our perspective is hospitality used in the right way can be done at scale. And hospitality done the right way with the human layer on top of it is really the most potent combination. Using all of the data that you have, using all the insights that you have, informing what actions your team should take or your platform should take, that's how you really make every guest feel like a regular. And so a lot of what we think about is how do you take that magical experience of true, genuine hospitality? How do you take that to scale? How do you make everybody, if you're a restaurant serving 1,000 people a day, how do you make everybody feel like they see me, they value me, they're personalizing my experience? This was a one-size-fits-one kind of experience. It has not been possible up until now. Because of the technology that exists today, it is possible. And that's what we are dedicated to. That is our mission, hospitality at scale.
I got to tell you, Noah, you don't see this because you're not at our Pepsi studio. Everyone is on their feet. I've never seen the crowd. Look at Jimmy. There's thousands of them. Thank you. It's not me. It was Noah Glass. It was Noah. That was beautiful. Seriously, that was, Jimmy, there's not a dry eye in the studio. Not a dry eye after that.
I will add, because I think what Noah just shared was really important. And Chats, you and I have to defend the industry often about the embracement of technology and maintaining being a hospitable industry. And I think we as an industry are held to almost a different standard than others because of how personal food consumption is. But I will tell you, when done right, and I think Olo and several of our friends and partners are doing it right, leveraging tech actually improves and creates a better hospitable experience. It takes some tasks that would otherwise be somewhat distracting to a member of the team, or maybe even frustrating to a guest. And actually, it makes it a little more seamless, and it lets the human capital, the humans, interact in a way that's a little bit better, more about guest ambassadorship, enjoyment, success-oriented. And again, so we're never going to be a tech industry. We're going to be a tech-supported industry, tech-enabled industry. And that's where I see Olo and Olo Pay and some of the other tools being so important.
Yeah, I was just going to add that I just remembered that there was a time, certainly in the full-service business, which is where we sit, where the whole QR codes during the pandemic and the menu was on the QR code. And then as things kind of settled back to, I'll say, quote unquote, normal, QR codes for menus really kind of drifted away, and people in high-end full serve, that was part of their experience, was really getting that beautifully designed, graphically pleasing menu. And today, I would say that is an area. I'm not saying QR codes were dead by any stretch of the imagination, but I think with respect to QR code and a menu on your phone in full serve fine dine, it seems like that is something that we're going to have to come up with something different. I don't know that technology is going to solve for that right now.
And look, we're a very fragmented industry. It's not one size fits all. Yeah. And what's right for certain restaurant groups and their unit count and their brand and their guest, and really what the guest expects of them, is different than another group. So again, I love that we're coming out of the dugout now, because I agree. I still think we're wonderfully early.
I just love more baseball analogies from you, Jim. I'm hoping we get more.
Let me tell you the baseball story. No, sorry. Before we move on, Noah, I want to ask you, kind of bringing back another podcast favorite. We used to talk about build it or buy it, and not remotely putting you on the spot, but as you think about kind of where we are in the roadmap, and how operators would love to have less ISVs, independent software vendors. They want to rely on.
How long have you been dying to get ISV into a podcast? I mean, no one knows what you're talking about.
But that's why I gave the acronym, and then I quickly defined it because I was so excited about the ISVs.
What does anything be talking about? ISV, like a space shuttle term or something.
But Noah, for Olo, which is really a platform, when you think about some of the functionality and features that some of your customers are needing, do you guys look at building it? Do you look at buying it? It depends on the situation. How are you looking at it, and where do you guys come out as you think about ways to be even more entrenched with your customers?
Yeah, look, this topic, build versus buy, has been a topic of every restaurant technology industry event that I've been part of. I think it's a false choice, actually. I think the answer is both. And what I mean by that is the very best solutions are I'm using components that others have built, and then I'm building something differentiated on top of that. And we've all embraced that with the rise of services like Amazon Web Services or other public cloud providers. in the early days of Olo, we used to bare metal, host our own solution. You don't have to do that anymore. You can leverage somebody else's undifferentiated heavy lifting. They're scaled, reliable, secure.
Are you guys buying
solution.
Amazon? Is that what I'm hearing right now? Because that's breaking news.
I can neither confirm nor deny. I can neither confirm. On that one, I can deny. But look, I think that when brands are able to use platforms and then focus their time on building things that are really differentiated for their brand, that's where true magic happens. And you mentioned, we're a platform. You also mentioned that ambition of a lot of founders to take their company public. I will tell you in full honesty, I never had that ambition. I did not think that Olo was going to become a public company, but I knew that we had to become a public company in order to play this role as a platform, as a mission critical platform that even the largest restaurant brands could build on top of and feel like, I don't need to buy this and maintain it myself. I can rely on this platform. I know it's a profitable business. I know it's secure. I know it's reliable. I know it's high performance. I know it has over 400 partner integrations that it's done. I can use that and then I can build on top of it. I don't have to build everything from the ground up myself.
That is
I'm really proud.
Yeah.
Since our IPO, we've had over a dozen brands that are either public or public scale cut off of homegrown platforms and come on to the Olo platform to do just that. And it's exciting to see brands like CKE and Jack in the Box and Outback Steakhouse and Potbelly make that transition and feel like this move that we made in 2021, to become a public company really resonated with large brands who felt like, okay, I can use this platform and then I can redeploy my capital to really building out differentiated solutions that delight my guests.
Hey, let me ask you something before we get on. Do you think some of those large platforms felt more comfortable moving over to you because you were a publicly traded company? Like they're like, oh, they're a publicly traded company. We can go with them. Yep. They're not going anywhere.
100%. The transparency of being a public company, having a profitable business, demonstrably profitable, having a strong balance sheet. These are the kind of things that give boards, CEOs the confidence that you can do this with a platform and you don't have to support the entire thing. And I think the misconception a lot of brands have when they go down this journey of building is, oh, we're going to build it. Sure, that's a capital expense. But then they forget that there's a huge ongoing operating expense of maintaining the platform, keeping it secure, keeping it reliable, integrating into the new things that come around, keeping it innovative. And the benefit of not having to do that is tremendous.
I love it.
And so I think that you no longer have to support your own platform, cut over to a platform that has a hosted solution has been a huge benefit of our being a public company.
I like how you layered in that music, Chet. It was very exciting.
Dude, it was so cool the way he was talking.
Yes, you added.
Because I just had to go right into Noah, hot or not? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. I'm going to ask you, or I'm going to say a couple of words, and all I want you to do is say hot or not. All right, here we go. But I might have to play a little bit more Mission Impossible music. Robot servers.
Not.
Alternative milks like oat, almond, soy.
Hot.
That's just because you like them.
Isn't that the whole point of this game? Hot or not?
TikTok.
What do you like?
Yes. TikTok. Hot or not?
Not.
Jimbo, do you care to opine on the hot or not robot servers? He didn't even think about that one. Notice that the alternative milks, he was like, oh, that's the hottest thing going. Are you kidding me? But TikTok.
Well, I'd love to play all three, but that's not the way this section works. He was so discarding of the robot server, and to a certain extent, as am I. I guess I'm gonna play off the last one of TikTok, but I'll extrapolate a little bit and talk about social media. So I'll certainly TikTok you gave a not, and maybe you can expand upon that a little bit. But then to the extent you can comment on social media for some of your brands and customers and whatnot. I'll throw in the influencers. So I gave you a lot there, but TikTok you gave kind of a not. Social media influencers, maybe just talk about that a little bit.
I was shocked.
I'm not shocked on TikTok.
Are you not?
Not because you know what? Let's let's have our guests talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm just personally not into TikTok itself, but I like that we've expanded the conversation. I think social media is a critical component of doing business today. And I think having that ability to speak directly to your guests on social media, witnessing firsthand what's important to them through social media, I don't know that you could run a business without embracing social media and really engaging with folks there.
I agree with that. And look, I don't know. I'm not a TikTok person. Please, China, don't punish me for that. I don't know what will be the next great social media platform, but I will tell you more and more I watch how, if it's done correctly and authentic, is what I mean by that, is how impactful it is to driving traffic and creating engagement. Again, it makes me think some of the ads that people do that are not specific, not authentic, and somewhat generic. At the end of the day, I think some of the things I'm seeing on social media have as much success as anything. And I've seen several which were done at no cost to the venue because it was done by the guests and influenced it. So I appreciate that.
You know what's really hot? The
brilliance of social media is that it's all algorithmic. This is the brilliance and also the curse of social media and all of the sort of societal ills that it creates. But look, the idea of using an algorithm to understand what is it that I should show Jimmy? What is it that I should show Shatsy? This is something that Netflix has been doing, Amazon has been doing, YouTube has been doing, certainly Facebook has been doing for years and years, decades.
Yeah.
It's now possible to do that sort of machine learning and collaborative filtering, to get specific on the term, with what should I recommend to Jimmy based on what I know about what he's ordered in the past, based on what I know about all of the other guests who are lookalikes to Jimmy in terms of what they like. What is the next best thing that I should offer him? We just released something called Smart Cross-Sells. And Smart Cross-Sells is doing exactly that. It's based on what's in your cart right now, making a cross-sell saying, would you like to add this to your cart based on the data of what you already have in your cart? Not just saying, do you want fries? Do you want a drink? Do you want dessert?
There's some reason to suggest fried because you've ordered them in the past, maybe.
Exactly. And the impact is a 10% lift in cart size versus that just generic cross-sell. So that kind of result, that kind of business result,
that's real.
From using AI and machine learning to do collaborative filtering, to take an idea that's a decade plus old and just apply it in our industry. We love doing stuff like that. It's easy to predict the future if you're just pulling things in that have worked in other industries and applying them to this industry that's so early and just getting out of the dugout, as we said.
Makes a lot of sense. I would just add, you know what else is super hot, Jimmy?
What's that?
Starry. Starry is really hot. Jimbo, I got to tell you, greatest thing ever happened in my family. But I will say one thing about Starry. I'm just throwing it out there. I went to the supermarket this week, and I'm out in Hamptons, okay? Yes. And Jillian's like, pick up some Starry because she does Tito's and Starry, okay? She does little, by the pool, grill, delicious. They were out of Starry. They were out of Starry,
sold out,
Stop and Shop.
Sold out, or like
a big empty thing. It was like
that's how popular it is.
There was no Starry there. There was no Starry. I'm just saying, I don't know who's making it, but they got to make more.
Maybe we can find someone at Pepsi and let them know. Maybe we know somebody. Okay, how about that? How about them apples? Listen, let's kick into talking back. Clearly, Noah, you know that Shats and I are not shy about gabbing and chatting and speaking our mind, but we learned along the way in maybe our second season that sometimes our guests have a question or two for us. So talking back, the microphone is yours, my friend. Nothing's off the table. What would you like to ask us?
Okay, I've been thinking about this. What I'd like to ask.
God.
That was wicked smart, Mike.
I know, that's
ready.
Get ready. Your restaurant's excluded.
Yes, thank you.
When have you, as a guest, been to a restaurant and felt like you're really receiving genuine hospitality? And what was it that the restaurant did to make you feel that way?
Oh.
The foremost example in your mind of like, that was it. That was the time I went to a restaurant and I felt like that's hospitality.
Dynamite question. I like it. You want to play, Shatson?
You're always so much better at it.
That's why I like when you go first.
I know.
Let me just jump in.
Better, yeah.
All right. I'm gonna give two answers because they're very. I think it's appropriate to give two. First of all, not our restaurants, but full service, high end or full service. Made a reservation, and from the moment I walked in, they were strong at the host station, and the host station had their S together. And they didn't know who I was walking in, but when I gave my name, they knew a lot. They knew about me. They knew about the reservation, I'll give a shout out. It's not one of our companies, but
I know what it's got to be.
But good friend,
got to be Scarpetta.
But it was
because you were just there.
And it was 7 rooms. They used 7 rooms as a guest engagement platform, and they had a lot of information.
Did they know you were on Ozempic? Did they know that?
They did not know that.
They don't have that information.
They don't have that information.
See, they should got to plug into CVS.
They should plug into CVS.
Yeah, they got to know if you're on Ozempic or not because they changed the whole.
But Noah, to your question, it was so nice to be greeted and welcomed, and then the evening just it's kind of like they get one chance to make a first impression. And the first impression by the host station was incredibly positive. And later in the evening, when we spoke to the manager, I said how the folks in the front, that was such a welcoming and such a warm way and a wonderful way to start the evening, and I appreciate it. I'll just give a quick second one. On the other side, on the quick serve, limited service, I went to Joe and the Juice, and I used their app, and I used their
here in Manhattan, Jimbo?
Here in Manhattan, and I used their app on my phone. I pulled a Shatsy. I pre-ordered.
Yeah,
and I have to say,
I think Noah would embrace that.
And I pre-ordered, and when I walked in, my stuff was ready. That the staff was friendly and into it, and I gave my name, and it was such a seamless and enjoyable experience. And I credit it that I downloaded the app. I took the time to place my order. I got some points, but it was not the points that made me happy. It was that when I walked in, it was a really pleasant experience. And then grabbed and go, and I was off. So I thought one was leveraging the 7 rooms, and the other one I don't know who Joe and the Juice uses, but it's clearly an app and a loyalty and a way of pre-ordering that I thought. So tech played a role in both those experiences.
Yeah, I was just going to add, by the way, I mean, that first impression, that host stand in full serve. I mean, I think a lot of operators they're just kind of like the management kind of stays away, and we're like, oh, we'll just. It's like that is your first impression. Line. That's your first impression. Like how management is sometimes so distant from what's going on there. How they greet the guests, how they say goodbye to the guests, where do they sit the guests. Like that's so important. And I think a lot of people kind of just go, oh yeah, someone else has got that. Oh yeah, they'll seat them. Like it's so wrong. It's so important.
Again,
and even if there were no notes in 7 rooms, it just. That's the most important part, right? First impressions.
There you go.
And it's a moment where the guest is identifying themselves.
Yeah.
So you can have this moment where I know it's Shatsy who's coming in. I have a whole dossier on Shatsy, and I can bring that information to bear and make it feel like I know you and make it feel like a memorable experience.
Yeah, I love
that human layer on top of the guest book.
Like
and
the
database.
Data that we're talking about and using it not to be creepy and weird, but just to make it personable. And hotels have been, like you said, I think have been doing that for a long time.
And airlines have been doing it
and airlines, they recognize you. Oh, Mr. Fishing, nice to see you again, and they know that. Even just that, even if you were at a Miami Beach Ritz-Carlton a year ago when they say nice to see you again, that makes you feel warm and fuzzy, So I agree with that. Jimbo?
Let's play it.
What is that music?
I think it's The Spice is Right.
I got to tell you, I love this. The Spice is Right. Noah, I don't think you've ever played The Spice is Right. It's one of the greatest game show experiences in all of game shows. We came up with the idea for Spice is Right. It was our idea. And what we're doing on The Spice is Right is probably getting a cease and desist letter from, this is a Mark Goodman, Bill Topman production. Probably getting a cease and desist from them. But anyway, listen, since you started your career as a pizza delivery driver, I'm going to ask you and Jimmy to go head-to-head in guessing the price, okay, of Pizza Hut's Big Dinner Box. Are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
This is Big Dinner Box, Pizza Hut, Big Dinner Box. It includes 2 one-topping pizzas. That's 2 one-topping pizzas, breadsticks, and 6 traditional chicken wings with your choice of sauce. I threw that in there. I don't know if that's included, but I just felt like...
Do we get a beverage?
What I'm coming up with here on this particular, I am seeing no beverage choice on this particular Pizza Hut Big Box Dinner.
Okay.
But if you want to have a beverage, this is no beverage.
We're pricing without the beverage.
There's no beverage in this. There's
they took all the starry. They're just giving out a starry with every order.
You get free Pepsi. Free Pepsi products at Pizza Hut, by the way. I hope we don't get a cease and desist from Pepsi on that one. Okay, so it's a 2 one-topping pizzas, breadsticks, and 6 traditional wings with your choice. Closest guess without going over dollars and cents. Noah, care to guess?
I'm going $19.95.
1995. Locking it in.
That was on my mind. I'm not going to play chintzy and penny you or nickel you at all.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't go dollar.
No.
$5 or $20.
$27.95.
$27.95. I got to tell you, Jimbo wins again. Jimmy, you are killing it on the spot. You won last week.
I did win last week.
It's $36.99.
Wow, I'm not even sure I deserve to win if I'm
I mean, I don't know where that Pizza Hut Big Dinner is, but I got to tell you, that is 2 pizzas.
What were those toppings?
No, but the wings are, they're rooster wings. They're gigantic.
I
wings.
thought I was
they're
pricey.
enormous.
All right,
they're
enormous. $36.
I just
They're
got
enormous.
smoked.
I got to tell you, you were like way off. I don't know what's going on. Wait, you live in Manhattan now, right?
Yeah,
So you're thinking Manhattan pizza. Jimbo, he's thinking like Connecticut or something. You're like out in
I was.
You're like in the Adirondacks.
I was closer, but I'm still shocked at.
You up in Brant Lake Pizza. That's it.
Yeah, seriously, that's.
Yeah, wow, that is. Well, anyway, Jimbo, you win. You win an all-expense trip for 2 to Hawaii, courtesy of Pizza Hut.
I'll tell you what, just give me the same money that Olo's earning for doing the show with me, and I'll be happy. Okay?
Yeah.
Actually, why don't you double it to make me
Well,
feel good.
let's get right into it, Jimbo, because this is where things get real interesting.
All right, here we go, Shats. It's your turn. Earlier in the episode, we gave you 3 factoids about our friend Noah. I'm going to run through them again, and Shatsy's going to pick which one was not true. Fact 1, Noah bicycled across country from Connecticut to California. Fact 2, Noah performed solo a cappella at the White House, singing to former First Lady Laura Bush. Fact 3, Noah grew up with 3 dogs, Ollie, Lavender, and Opal, and their initials actually was how Noah named the company Olo. Shatsy, what says you?
Hey, Noah, quick question before we get to this. What does Olo stand for?
Haha, nice try. Nice try.
You see what I did there, Jimbo?
I see what you did there. Shats, Yale.
Yeah, no, you're right. Damn it, I forgot about the Yale thing. And lacrosse. I mean, the bicycling cross country, it doesn't say, like, he played lacrosse and, but singing a cappella, I see nothing about him singing anywhere, and he doesn't have a particularly good voice. Like,
by the way, he can hear you.
But a cappella, which one is that? Is that like really high or really low?
It's no music. It's just you sing.
Oh, that just means that you sing?
You just sing without instruments.
What's the one? I think it like that. What's
that? Now you're going to tones like baritone.
Oh, baritone. Okay.
Acapella, like Aka Awesome. It's basically just singing with no instruments.
Yeah.
Like pitch perfect. Acapella.
In the way of singing a solo by himself?
By definition, a solo would be on your own.
No, he didn't do that. He didn't go to the White. Why would he go to the? What the heck is he connected to the? No, he did not do that.
Okay, so
that's too weird.
Are you locking it in?
I'm locking it in.
Okay.
There's no way he was doing Aka. Why would they ever get him? They could get anybody.
Oh, I thought that one.
Beyonce. They get Justin Timberlake, get somebody great.
Okay.
Not that he's not great.
I think that one's true, but you know what? I don't have to play the game. Noah.
You think it's true?
I think that's true. No, I think that one has happened. You think
he did that?
I think he did.
Do you have inside information?
I have no inside information.
Well, I don't know, Jim.
Okay, Noah, which one is the lie? And tell us about the truth, because these are awesome.
By the way, if it's a cappella, you're going to sing for us.
Well, the acapella one is true.
Yes.
But as much as I love you guys, I'm not going to sing for you.
That's fair.
But I will tell you the story.
Please.
Get the hell out of here.
First Lady.
So wait, what was the lie?
The lie was the third one.
Yeah,
Olo. I had a dog growing up. The dog's name was Cider. Nothing to do with the name Olo.
So technically, Olo could have been called Cider.
That's true. That's a good name. Olo does stand for...
That's your next one, cider.com.
Oh, yeah. I want to do this for the rest of my run, so there won't be a next one for me if I have my druthers.
So let's hear this story, Mr. Acapella.
First, let's go with Olo. What does Olo stand for?
It does stand for online ordering, and you're both right. Currently, in 2024, online is one word.
Yes.
At the time that online ordering came around in the late 90s, same era as America Online, AOL, where online was 2 words. So OLO was the industry term for online ordering before Olo, the company, existed and was like the Band-Aid for Olo.
So essentially, you got the acronym right and still got the question wrong. Yeah, but now can you tell us about the singing to First Lady Laura Bush?
Yeah, I was in an a cappella group at Yale called the Baker's Dozen. We like to describe ourselves as a drinking group with a singing problem, proudly. And, President Bush and his father, both proud alums of Yale.
They were Yale guys.
And President Bush's daughter, Barbara, not his mother, Barbara, his daughter, Barbara, was a classmate of my wife's in the year below. And we were part of the same group of friends and got invited in to sing at the White House. And I got to sing. I have a deep voice. Shatsy, I won't take offense. You said I don't have a good voice. I have a deep voice. I have
Beautiful
a bass
voice, by the way.
The one song that a bass can sing is this song called Little Red Riding Hood, where you're the wolf singing to Little Red Riding Hood. And I sang that to First Lady Laura Bush with President George W. Bush right next to her. And that was a pretty cool experience.
Wait a minute.
He's not singing. He's not singing.
Can you just give me just a little?
Nah.
No upset.
Next time. Invite me back. Maybe I'll sing.
Look at that. By the way, that was one of my favorite two truths and a lie. A, because Shatsy, you didn't get it right. But B, he sang to the First Lady and the President, by the way.
Yeah, I know. God, you gotta have balls to do that, man.
But I also did bike across the country for Habitat for Humanity. That's the other
We
one.
forgot about that.
But I know we do
biked
that.
over 3,000 miles.
See,
We're
that
not
I'm
even
impressed.
giving him any credit.
Yeah, like how did you do that?
More than
Were you on a Schwinn?
4,323 miles all told. And,
So I feel like that's further. Like you went even further than you had to.
We didn't go on any interstates. We had to kind of take a circuitous route. But it was an amazing experience. I did that right after my senior lacrosse season. I got on the bike, 215 pounds, played defense for the Yale Bulldogs. Not in great biking shape at all. I got off the bike 63 days later, 185 pounds.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you're like Forrest Gump. When he was like running. So you just got to LA on your bike and you just turned around and went back? I think I'm done now. I think I'm done now.
Got to the Golden Gate Bridge, hung out there for a couple of days, flew back in, 5-6 hours. When you've spent 63 days crossing the country on bike and then you fly back in 5 hours.
Yeah, I would agree. That's awesome, though. Wow. Yeah, Jimmy and I were thinking about doing that, and then we changed our mind. We're like, I don't think we're going to do that. All right, listen. No, I know you got to go because we only have a few minutes left, but let me just bring up to you right now the greatest part of any podcast in the history of all podcasts. Branded Quickfire. Are you ready? Noah Glass.
Ready.
Branded Quickfire. 5 lightning round questions. Here we go. Favorite summer Olympic sport?
Women's soccer. Amazing. U.S. Women's National Team. Triple espresso. Killer team. My sister played soccer in college and was the captain of the Harvard soccer team.
What is this Glass family doing? What are they eating? What's going on? I got to meet the mom and dad. What are they doing?
Very proud papa.
Something right over there, right?
They're coming over for dinner tonight.
They weren't vegan, though. There's no way your parents were vegan. You don't get that kind of, you got to eat steak to get that kind of greatness. Am I right?
Quickfire, Shats. It's a quickfire.
The most used app on your phone right now, what is the most used app?
There's an app called Time Hop, and it is awesome. It shows you what you are doing on this calendar date in previous years. And if you have young kids like I do, I have a 7.5-year-old son, seeing what we were doing on August 12th, 2023, and all the way back, so fun. I do it every day.
Time Hop. I like that.
Are you next year, this same day, when you time hop and see that you were on the podcast, are you going to be like, what's your reaction? Boy, I wasted a day on that. Boy, that was
giddy excitement. Giddy excitement.
Choose one, airline or hotel loyalty program. You travel a lot.
Airline.
Me too.
This is the one that we always get a little iffy about. What's your Uber rating?
All right, I am a 4.88. Sometimes I've been a 4.89. It changes depending on if I'm riding for business or riding with my 7.5-year-old son. I won't say which way it changes.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Changes.
Yeah. I'm looking at mine right now because I feel like I'm going down. I don't see it here. I gotta go on there. 477. I climbed. I was at 474. I don't know why mine sucks. Okay, if you were to challenge Jimmy or I to a game of knock hockey, classic knock hockey, well, you have better odds of beating. Fingers. I could do like weird things.
I heard JV baseball and I heard JV high school soccer. So I'm going with the JV high school soccer. I think I could take you, Shatsy.
I thought you were gonna be like, there's no way I could beat Shatsy. Knock hockey. I thought you heard Jimmy went to camp. I went to camp too, by the way, and I was pretty good at knockout.
I think you're.
I lose again.
I think your attention deficit disorder is well known in the industry. You'd lose interest. You'd stop paying attention.
What?
Yeah,
What?
You'd be distracted.
Yeah, I got to tell you. Yeah, I have a very bad record with you in the.
Yes.
In the branded quickfire. All right. Well, listen, we got 2 minutes left. 3 minutes left, Jimbo.
Listen, actually, we covered a lot of ground, and I want to thank you, Noah, for joining us on the podcast and not just sharing your insights and intel, which is awesome for ourselves and our listeners, but for everything you're doing for the industry. I think we joked at the top of the hour, but truth and humor about you and Olo really charting new paths and being the OGs of tech and innovation for this space. And I think you've got a lot of followers, and imitation to heightened form of flattery. But the fact is you guys continue just to be a trailblazer. And congrats on the Olo Pay. And I can't wait to see what you guys bring next. But huge fans of what you and your company are doing for this industry. If any of our listeners want to get in touch with Noah or his team directly, you can email the podcast team at podcast@brandedstrategic.com, and we'd be happy to connect you. And of course, you can find out more information at olo.com, O-L-O, onlineordering.com, O-L-O. And you can learn a lot about Olo. They do put a lot of good thought leadership and content out there, so I do encourage you to go check out the website.
I got Noah's cell phone. I'm going to throw up on the screen Noah's cell phone number. So anybody out there that is having any issues with their online ordering, you can just reach out to. That's the kind of CEO he is. He just wants to be involved.
Very hands-on.
Well, Jimmy Schatzy, I need to say huge thanks for having me on, and thank you for all that you do with Branded. I'm so proud that we have over 400 integrated technology partners. So many of those are supported by Branded, and for what you've done in fueling this ecosystem. As you say, it takes a village, and it truly does, to make restaurant technology come to life in the right form and function for every restaurant concept out there. And we love having that partner ecosystem, and we love the support that you provide to that ecosystem.
Wow.
Thank you.
I got to tell you, by the way, we did not pay him to say that, but I will be sending him something.
Some little something. No, you know what?
There's some extra in your paycheck this week from me.
There's a lot of good people in this industry, and I like Olo and Brandon, and a number of our friends in the industry do support each other. Rising tide lifts all boats, and I got to tell you, these are important things that are going on. Helping operators succeed, helping we love restaurants, but we got to help them stay in business. We got to help them succeed. This digital transformation is a key part of it.
Was that it? Are you done?
I was gonna walk us out. Chat, unless you have anything you want to add.
Yeah, I was gonna say, by the way, really excited about this last plug, and I'm done. It's great having Noah. Thank you. Check us out, by the way. You can listen to us, which is great. But you know what is even better, more fun? Checking us out in person. Check us out at Hospitality Hangout on YouTube. You can check us out. You can actually see how ugly we are.
See us?
Yeah, you can actually see how ugly we really are in person. You know what I mean? So check us out. And by the way, Jimbo, just want to tell everybody, if you're not subscribed to the Hospitality Headline, the weekly newsletter comes out every Saturday morning at like 6 a.m., which is one of the best reads ever. Check out the hospitalityheadline.com. I got to tell you, you will find some incredible insights, some great stuff about the industry. Jimbo, this has been great. Cheers, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. And thank you, Noah. Cheers.
Thank you.